It's rare to find a big group of Indians in Moldova, but I'm here at this university where there's a big group of Indian students who have their own stories, who have their own good experiences and a Ukraine legacy as well. I'll speak to them and give a perspective about the problems or the challenges they face and why they chose Moldova. Let me start with you, sir. If you can talk to us about your story, why you chose Moldova, and essentially, would you recommend other Indian students to also travel to Moldova?
Firstly, telling you that I will 100% recommend all the students to come to Moldova. I chose Moldova because when I compared the other options like Georgia, actually I'm a Ukraine return student. So when I was in India, I had an option of going to either Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova or Georgia. But when I looked at Moldova, it was very closer to Europe, and the benefits I'm getting because of this being too close to Europe is humongous. These other countries don't get that kind of experience and don't get that kind of advantages which we get here. So that's why I'll tell that the place is really good. They allow a lot of practical exposure which I saw that lacked in Ukraine. So I will 100% say that Moldova is way better, and other students should also come here.
Ma'am, you came from Ukraine when the conflict started. How has it impacted your studies? And now, are you comfortable here in this country?
Compared to Ukraine, this country has offered a very stable, a very impartial education to us, and compared to our situation back in Ukraine, here our rapport with the authorities, with our vice dean is very good, and also our education quality here is better.
This was the view of many students, but let me just show you how many students in this very room, which has a lot of Indian students, were impacted by the conflict in Ukraine. So I'm going to ask a simple question to all of you. If my camera person Dan can just show them. How many of you were impacted by the conflict in Ukraine? Please raise your hands. So there you can see a large number of Indian students were impacted by the conflict in Ukraine, and that is why they have chosen Moldova as one of their destinations. So here in this university, there are a number of Indian students. With me is someone who is leading the university. So welcome to WION. My first question to you is, so many Indian students, what makes this university so attractive?
Thank you for your question. My name is Dr. Igor Chimurtan. I am head of Department for Recruitment and Documentation of Foreign Students. Well, currently we have over 1,200 students coming from India. And I'd like to say that the students from India are very motivated, are highly motivated, and they have also a very good background in sciences, physics, chemistry, biology. That's why we are interested in cooperation with India and to be involved in teaching Indian students.
Okay. Essentially, what makes Moldova an attractive destination for Indian students? If you can mention or talk about that.
Yes, there are several attractions. First of all, is quite cheap tuition fee comparative to neighbor countries, or European countries. Second is level of education, because our education is centered on students, and besides that, we have access to hospitals. So clinical exposure is very high. So university has access to over 6,000 beds. So means all the students have a possibility to interact with patients, with doctors. Moreover, all the clinical departments are based in hospitals. Therefore, when students have clinical subjects, they are surrounded again by doctors, by patients, and that is very important.